Hi everyone, here we are again back in my workshop. It's all about Christmas again. If you remember back to, I was saying it was Thursday last Tuesday, but it's actually Tuesday, not Thursday. I was confused, so I hope I don't confuse you. Second part of our Christmas decoration week. Okay, and we're going to continue now right up until Christmas. So like I said on Tuesday, I hope you enjoy the festive season because we've got a lot of projects to be doing. Unfortunately, and I'm not going to pan you around to see the tech console over Finley's shoulder, I was trying to get 2 or 3 cameras working for you today. I've come up with loads of IT problems that are way beyond me, so I'm going to have to put it off another week. All the tech's there and waiting to go. I just need the know-how to get it running. So we are going to get it running for you guys, I promise. I'm just going to have to delay a little bit. It was looking really good as well. I had a camera up there, and a camera up there, and a camera over there. But never mind. Finley's on board. He's an absolute pro at this. So he'll be our switcher. He'll zoom the camera in when we need to. And we've got 3 projects to do today, so there is a little bit of moving around. Only issue is, Finn's got to shoot off to work about 4:45 or about 20 to 5. So let's get questions in early. If there are questions, there will be, if there are questions after he disappears, keep asking them, because what we'll do between myself and Lily, I'll get them answered tomorrow morning for you. Okay, so don't worry, don't worry. So 3 decorations. Now I hope you've seen the picture that we posted up to advertise this stream. There were 3 decorations on there, one of them being our houses, one being Polar Express, and other snowman. So we're going to start with the house. Now let me show you a couple of things. I sell these on my website in 2 ways. So we do them firstly for kids or mums and dads to paint themselves. So as the naked version, just the timber, sanded, ready to paint version. They come with paint sticks. We're going to talk about paint sticks in a minute. Really, really important if you want to keep your fingers clean. But nice little box like that, ready to paint. The other way, of course, and a lot more expensive, obviously, is the painted and finished version of the same project. So I'm just giving you ideas here. So a little box, couple of coloured houses, and a little Christmas tree as well. Okay, so nice little ideas for Christmas. They make a nice little gift. If you're thinking about what can I make for Uncle Fred, then you know, nice little gifts like that really are quite special. And they come out every year. They're safely put away at after Christmas time, and away we go. So that's what we're going to do first. We are going to do some painting as well. So we're going to get right at the end. We're going to get some of that painting going, and it's not airbrush. These are true wet paints, as I call them. So they have to be left to dry. So we're going to use those paint sticks to paint, keep our fingers nice and clean, and so on. We're only going to do the first part. Look at the pictures that we've posted up. You'll see the detail afterwards. I'm going to explain what we use to create that detail in the way of paint pens, fine permanent markers, and all those sorts of things. So you'll get an idea of how we do it. So 3 fairly simple projects. You could do a ton of these over the weekend or a few of an evening, so on. But we're going to show you how to do these now. Let's start.
Just got a quick question straight off the bat.
Yeah.
Callum was just wondering, I know you mentioned obviously we're going to be doing Christmas for the next couple of weeks, but it was just saying will you have a session on the plaster you finished with the black background with a green top coat to show the process?
Yeah, you asked that question, Callum, via an email. Well, I got it via an email, and I can't remember the actual platter. I can't remember which one it was. So a little bit, roughly how long ago that was. Is it something that I part done? I can't remember. So a bit more info for me, mate. And well, yeah, absolutely. If I've still got it, we'll finish it. Right, let's get started. So this is lumps of old door frame. You can see a little bits of high density fibreboard there, the old MDF. There, this is painted there, so it's just scrap basically. But if you're wondering what timber, then pine. Same thing we've done the Christmas trees out of, sprucey pine, that lovely smelling timber, cedar, all those sorts of things. And these are going to have a little brass eye put on the top and then hung from the tree. So let's get going quite fast. We're on a friction drive there. Okay, a light pull friction drive, and I need to be going about 2,000 revs. So yeah, come on in, Finn. We've got a lot of skew work to do today. I've got the coffee behind here already. There we go. As you know, myself and Finley do a lot of plans to download, again via Etsy. We're in the middle of doing this one. There's 3 plans out there, including the pyramids, smokers and Christmas trees from Tuesday. But we're also going to have this, well, what we're doing today is plans as well. That's over the next fortnight. I would have thought we can get those up there. So we're just going to take this down to a cylinder. Rough and gouge if you want to. And we're running, like I said, we're running about 2,000 revs, a little bit higher. And the actual shape of these little houses is really the sort of shape you see on Christmas cards, advent calendars, and they're little, nice, pleasing little forms actually. There we are, that's roughed down to a cylinder. If there are a few little nail holes, screw holes, that sort of thing, you can keep going. Just take them out or lose them in the design, whichever. You can see I've got a few here. Let's just take a little bit more of the diameter away. There we are. Adjust the tool rest and then we'll start shaping. So I'm going to put just a little cut in there. This is going to be the ridge of the house. Then we can use the heel cut.
Ian was just asking how you get the plans off Etsy.
Oh, just go to my Etsy page and you'll see them there. Colwin Way without a space, all one word, and you'll find me. There are downloads. There we are. Now we're going to round over this bit before we get the spindle gouge out. So I'm just rounding over the bottom of the house. Let's get one just to show you where we are with this a moment. So this is the sort of thing we're doing. So our next job would be to do the top of the little house. I'll use a spindle gouge for that one. Got that tool rest. Instantly better. There we go.
Got another question here from Callum. He was just saying his Bro Drive grub screw came out. He said he refitted it back, but noticed some oil, and he was just saying what type of oil should he use to re-top it up?
That would be, I would probably go with something like the chainsaw grease, that sort of thing, in that sort of area, or a little bit of 3-in-1. It's nothing particularly special in there. It's just to keep that little grub screw lubricated, that's all. There we are, look at that. It's a nice, pleasing little shape. You can obviously do what you want there, but I've been doing those shapes for a fair old while. Now, we're not going to do too much sanding to this. Very gentle, there's not much to hang on to. I'm going to paint right at the end, only because then I can go and clean everything out fairly quickly. And the other thing, or the nice thing about this, we don't have to sand to a very high finish. We want a key for the paint. So there we are. I'm not even going to put a sealer on. I'm using a wood paint on this anyway. A little bit of sanding on the bottom.
We got Chris was just asking. He said he said, can I ask you, two secs, can I ask you, where would you get the boxes? And he calls you the skew wizard, he uses for his houses.
I got mine on eBay. But yeah, you go all of those online retail sites, you'll find packaging, and that's just look for gift packaging, and those came flat packed, and you make them up yourself. And I always think, you know, you're giving gifts like that, be it presented well, makes a big difference. There we are. So what we've got there now, we have got a couple of nail holes. That's fine. So we've got a little flat there. I'm going to sand that in a moment, and then I'm using a little pin vise, just a 1mm drill bit ready for your little brass eyes. Okay, and let me show you the finished one again, so you'll see the sort of thing that I mean by brass eye. Okay, that's about a 4mm internal, 6mm external little brass eye. So that's a nice simple one. We're going to paint it, like I say, in a moment. Okay. Notice the hole. That's really, really important. We're going to use painting sticks in a moment. And well, in fact, let's do it now. Just while I've got that in my mind. Painting sticks. You've seen me use painting sticks before, I'm absolutely certain. Painting sticks are just a means to keep your fingers clean. I have a whole bag of painting sticks of different lengths, just 6mm dowel, that's all it is. That painting stick goes in that hole, it's a 6mm hole, and that allows me to hold on to the thing without getting my fingers filthy. But it also allows me to hold it with a chuck. Now I'm going to use a set of little pin jaws, my engineering type jaws here now, and I'll just show you something whilst it's in our, like I say, whilst it's in our mind. Just pan back a wee bit there for me. Always start rolling. Brilliant. So not only does this allow me to hold the piece here, but also I can put this in the chuck. I'm not going to do any turning, but if I just start off by doing that, and I wouldn't do one at a time, I'd do a bundle, all the same process. Don't worry about that wobble either, it makes no odds to us. And all I'm going to do, just clean up that edge a bit faster.
Graham was just like, he's just asking, he's planning on getting himself a Tormek T4.
Yep.
He was just saying, does he need a CBM wheel with it also, or does the standard Tormek one, is that sufficient?
Yeah, CBM won't go on a Tormek. It'd be a diamond on a Tormek if you're going to put anything on there. I would stick to what you got to start with though, because they're really, really quite good. Get used to that, and then if you feel you want to go diamond afterwards, go for it. But yeah, no, I really rate those wheels. Look, that's the box of it. Everybody see that all right, Finn? Now, I know there's going to be questions on what paints do you use. Well, I'm using Rust-Oleum. Buy them online. They are, and they say toy safe. Got a little toy safe mark down there. I don't know whether that's visible.
Maybe a bit closer.
Bit closer.
Yep.
All right, toy safe, and you know it's Christmas gifts and stuff like that. And I don't expect, I certainly hope people aren't going to put them in the mouths, but you know it's you never know. Brushes, a little, whatever they're called, easel, is it? Easel, something like that. And some paint pens, some gold pens, some fine markers, some silver here, and all these sorts of things. So we're going to paint, we're going to put the body colour on. I won't be able to do the rest of it, only because the paint has to dry. It's not like airbrush paint, it won't go on dry. So these sorts of things, so a little bit of paint first, red paint first, then once that's dry, gold pen on the outside, then a smaller, finer tip silver pen to do the windows, fine tips here, and they say most of it is pen, because I just find it's dry straight away, it's easier. Dab of glue, dab of glitter, if you want to put glitter on. Okay.
Callum's had quite a good idea. He was just admiring the logo, or your logo, and he was just saying, have you had a steel brander made to put on the bottom of your pots?
No, myself and Finn were talking about it. Finn and my other son Charlie come up with a logo. They're into the graphics. Finn's now taking that up as a career, self-employed, and he does all the banners and things like that for me and loads of other people. But yeah, we were looking at brands. It's a good idea again. Places like Etsy, you get there's loads of those sorts of things sold. Just wanted to show you the fine tip. That's a silver fine tip. There's a gold one in there somewhere. Or you go, and they're just, again, I just got those online. I literally put fine tip, silver and gold. Or you go the fatter ones, and they're really, really bold. You know, they almost go on like paint. So they're quite useful. Now that particular one, that's the big version. They're really useful, as well as these paint pens. These paint pens are so vibrant, the colours. Incredible. Pintor. Okay, so I use a lot of those as well as fine markers. But let's get painting. Let's stop talking and start painting a minute. So we're going to go with a little bit of titanium white. This is an acrylic titanium white as well. So I'm just going to go away from those just for a minute. Dab a bit of this in. This is really, really bright. A bit too much, but that.
Just coming up to 20 minutes in.
20 minutes in, yeah, okay. The others are quite quick. Let's go with a blue, a nice dark blue, so we can see what we're doing. I need to get some more. Running out. So to start with, what we're going to do is lather the stuff on. I want to be able to paint up the white over this. Like I say, you do it a few at a time. So get the back sorted, and then once I've got the back done, I can transfer over and we can pop it in the chuck. Don't put it in the chuck so far in that you then have to hold it to take it out. So you want to have some of that stick showing there. Oh, there's a bit of, there we are. And what we're going to do, get some real colour on there. Looks really, really messy at this stage, but you wait. When we turn the lathe on, it'll all work. Now, if you've got kids or grandkids, nieces, nephews, this is a lovely job for them. You can see the creative juices start flowing. Don't forget to turn the lathe down when you before you turn it on. So just tidying up that base colour. Now we don't want that to dry. We want that to remain wet for the minute. Now I have got a little water trough here that I'm gonna use, because we don't want to use the same brush. A little bit of that. And then we'll go with the white. So now we're going to make sure, and then wash the white brush out every time.
Do you spray acrylic spray on it after you finished?
No, because this is a gloss. These paints are gloss. Not the white isn't, but the blue is. So what we're going to do, don't reload the brush. Now you're going to work up, and up, and it slowly fades out. There we go. Let's do a little bit on mist there. Do the same to the top. Let it fade out. That will go to one side now. I'll wash the brushes later. So you want to be doing, well, it's entirely up to you, of course. Personally, I'd want to be doing a bundle at a time. I wouldn't want to do one. because you've got to wait for it to dry now, I want to do sort of 6 to or a dozen even. And what we'll do, you have a bit of scrap wood, your paint stick then sits in there. You get a load of those together, let them dry. Once dry, you can then take them indoors and you can start painting on your windows, doing all your fine marker on them, putting your glitter on and all those things, and then finally parceling up. Okay, but let's just give you a slightly closer look there. So that sort of effect. Great fun.
Mark just asked, could these be airbrushed with, is it Hampshire Sheen intrinsic dyes?
Yeah, they could be. I mean, absolutely. They wouldn't be quite, you know, they're very bold primary colours that I'm using there. The intrinsic colours are more earthy colours. Again, a different look, but a wonderful look as well. So absolutely, you go for it. This is the beauty of what we do. You know, I'm giving you ideas, but run with it. Absolutely.
Sorry, carry on.
No, go on.
Will was just asking, where can you recommend anywhere to get steel brander?
Yeah, Etsy. I've been looking at loads lately, and they're all over Etsy. So yeah, go on there and put branding irons in. Logos, and you basically upload your logo, and they'll make the iron to suit.
And one here from Alan, he was just saying, would you not advise to protect the lathe bed whilst painting?
No, I'm not spraying anything there, so it's very unlikely. Yeah, absolutely, put paper on if you're worried about it, but there's nothing on there. My lathe gets a lot of abuse from me, I'll be honest. But it's used so much that if I got anything on there, it comes straight off. Right, what should we do next, Finn? Should we do? We'll do the train.
Do the train.
So,
just another quick one.
Yeah.
Callum was just wondering. He was just saying, as a production wood turner, where did you learn all the artistic stuff?
Same place, really. So, my production work was unusual. Yes, we had spindles and things like that, but mainly I was production turning things like apples and pears, natural edge bowls. So we'd convert a tree into natural edge bowls. So that's the sort of production work. So it's very artistic production work as opposed to architectural production work, you know. So that was it really. Right, you know what I'm doing here. You've seen these before. Lily, I think Lily's there. She's watching. So we're going to be putting this is a carving table into the Evolution tool rest stem. I've set one of the collars here to my centre height. Pops in, bit of MDF on the top, and then my Velcro sanding disc with a faceplate ring on. So dead easy. Going to put a dust extraction on. We're going to make one of the little steam trains, and I'll tell you what, it's blooming easy. I'll tell you why. What we have, it's just a series of little pieces like that. I haven't even turned them. We're going to make them from dowel. You can turn them. We're wood turners at the end of the day, so if you didn't want to buy dowel, then turn all the pieces. So I buy this dowel. So I've got a 25, a 20, and a 10mm piece of dowel, and I'm going to cut them up into pieces, and then we're going to sand. And we need to make those 4 pieces. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pieces, because we need to have a funnel. So we'll crack into this one. The only bit of non-turning that I've done to start with is made that. That's just, I've cut that on the bandsaw, and that's the only bit I've used the machine for. So I'm just going to quickly sand that. A bit of dust extraction going on first. So just sanding the sides. back a little bit. I'm going to be using this table. Yeah. So we're going to cut our pieces. I would strongly recommend, if you don't have one already, I strongly recommend that you get a pool saw. We're going to make, so I'm going to have one on there, and then we're going to have another piece there. So I need to make these 2 pieces, plus what will eventually be the wheels underneath. Okay, so we're just going to cut those. In terms of pool saw, I've got a couple of favourites here. For this fine work, I'm using the Shakunin saw. This is a lovely little flush cut saw. So this is what I'm going to use on this one. But that's another Ridgeback. That's a much stiffer one, that one. Part number on that one is 516014. That's 516014. And they're nice and fine. The beauty of Japanese pool saws is they cut on the pull, as their name suggests. So you get a very, very straight cut. So let's get our dowel. And it's as quick as you could. This is far safer than doing it mechanically on a bandsaw, that sort of thing. And also involves the kids again, if you want to get them making little steam trains for the Christmas tree. There we are. There's one piece. That's a 20mm, so we'll now go up to 25. So it does feel like cheating a little bit, you know, I'm a wood turner and I'm cutting bits of dowel up, but it saves a huge amount of time. You can put it in the lathe if you want to put some detail on it. This stuff's gripped fairly easily in our modern wood turning chucks, of course. There we are, that'd be the cab. And then I won't do all 4 of the wheels, but I'll make one just to give you an idea where we're going with it. All the same, of course, or same length. There we are. Done. Right, so let's just have a look how we treat those. So I'll put my V-block away. The V-block's made, literally I stood that up in the bandsaw and cut there, removed, and cut another line, so a little 45-degree line, that was all. Really, really invaluable, those. It's so useful. Back to the sander. I think, Lily, you're putting the dowel up there, so the dowel, if you're wondering where to get dowel, we sell dowel. Like I say, you don't have to use dowel, you can turn it yourself. It just makes the job a bit quicker.
Yeah, she's on it.
She's on it, I thought she would be. There we are, so that's our base. So we're going to just put a sanded edge on the cab. Doesn't have to be much, just a little bit. Okay, and you can sand all faces. Lathe is such a versatile tool. You know, all of these little actions that we're using. One piece, we'll now go with the snap there.
How is the silicon extraction installed?
How is that?
Callum was just asking, how's that silicon extraction installed?
Silicon extraction. Not quite sure.
Oh, cyclone extraction, sorry. Silicon.
No, it's not installed yet. No, it's not installed yet.
Sorry, Callum.
One of my very, very good friends is installing the extractor, and you know what that's like, don't you? You're the last person on the job, the last person to get the job done in the list. So yeah, I'm still waiting, but you know, my little old extractor's doing well. Right, there we are. There's the 4 feet. They've all got a flat on them. At the moment I'm just using the flat to lie on the the table there, but the flat is actually going to be the bit that comes into contact with the bottom of this section here. Okay, and that's going to be our glue area. So the reason I put flats on there is to be able to glue it together. Now, you don't want to do any painting with it all put together. What I tend to do is paint all the individual pieces. Okay, so we've little stack there which we make from the same thing. Got the wheels, okay, and they just get glued to the bottom of your platform. Okay, so the bottom of that they would get glued once painted, then that will get in turn will get put onto the top of your platform. Okay, and then you can put all your detail. Get your pens back out again. Put all the little detail on the wheels. Does that seem? Just drop it down a little bit, Finn, so you get a perspective on that one. Put all the detail on the wheels, that sort of thing. Obviously this bit here needs to be red as well. Okay, or whatever colour you want, your Polar Express, I guess. But very, very simple job. In terms of putting the hole for this one, again on my pillar drill, just a little hole around about 4mm, and you can see how that is turned. Sorry, you can see how this piece is turned. It's just a very slight taper, parting tool to make your little tenon. It's a really, really simple piece of turning those, but really nice. When they're hung from the tree, you get 3 or 4 of those on the tree and they look really, really special. Again, box them up. Presentation boxes, they're great gifts, but something that, you know, all the family can get involved in. If you have kids that are interested in playing on the lathe with supervision, they're a nice small projects. You know, if you use dowel, get them using the little hand saws as well. It's a nice thing to do together.
Just a quick question from Peter. He's just wondering what are the part details for the support posts that you're for your standing table?
So they are the Evolution Tool Rest tool posts. Okay, and you will need to have the right size for your lathe. So we do a 25, a 1 inch. I think there's a 16. Lily, would you mind putting those up as well, please? So just decide which one you need. This one for me is my my inch. That fits into my 406. And then these collars are really quite useful because it means you don't have to set center each time. All right, just set it center once and that's it. Just slots in and away we go. But these are actually called carving tables or carving platforms. There's no reference to sanding in them at all. Probably because that wasn't the original idea, but I've just hijacked it and it really is quite useful. Let's do a snowman. Can't get much more Christmassy than a snowman. There we are. So we're going to use some of the pine that we used on Tuesday. Little Pro Drive, 16mm Pro Drive there. I'll do this a bit bigger again just so we can see what's happening. There we are, so that one can go in there. You can use a friction drive if you want to, no problem, but this one's going to have a nice flat bottom, not too worried. Going to have a top hat on this one. You can do the top hat separately if you want. It takes a little bit longer, but that way you can tilt the top hats if you want to, so glue them on at an angle. It looks quite sweet. Here though, we do need to make a little nose for it, so let's whiz that out. I'm going to make a real mess now, Finn. You might want to... Got your work clothes on, you might want to stand back a little bit. Rough and gouge first. And we can then use the skew once again. So, rough down the cylinder. We'll do 3 snowballs on our snowman. Finn's going to be going in a minute, so if you've got any burning questions, guys, whilst he's still here, ask away. Like I say, if not, then we will get to them and I'll answer them tomorrow for you. Skew chisel, so I've raised the tool rest. faster. There we are. So we do a nice deep V cut for the first main body snowball, and then we're going to rough this down a little bit more. And then we'll do another one. Rough down again. Take that a bit deeper. And on the drawing that, or the picture that we've got to advertise today, our snowmen are place setting. So you'll see mine, Finley's, Charlie's and Ricky's name. Nice little talking point over the Christmas table. So we're just using their heel to round over.
Callum was just saying when he tries to do sort of round beads, they end up more like ovals. Any tips to try and solve that?
Yeah, very unhelpful one, Callum. I'm going to say practice. Best thing to do, if you want a perfect ball, mark your centre and then work from that centre line. So don't touch the centre line. Same on the other side.
As an example, he was just asking sort of like body position. Do you change your body position much? Or?
Well, I think you can probably see where my handle is here. Keeping the handle in line, not bringing it out, because that's the recipe for a catch. So I'm pretty much stood firm, and I'm using the rotation of the skew as opposed to handle movement to make the bead. And yeah, unfortunately it is then down to make a series of beads. When you go into the workshop of the evening, maybe warm up a little bit by rolling beads.
And just a quick one from Will, who's just saying if he was to buy one of those skews, what size would you recommend?
Well, so I use that one an awful lot. However, my favourite is the small one, the 12mm. Only because of its balance. It's so beautiful and balanced, that one. But I probably, if I'm completely honest with you, I'll use the big one more. Just the way it is, really. Right, then we can round over the head. Let's go. I need the small one now because the big one's in the way.
Callum just said you noticed that the skew's flat to begin with. Is that the best way to start a round bead?
Noticed it was
flat to begin with.
Absolutely. Always start flat and introduce that heel very slowly. There we are. So let's do the top hat. So V cut. Heel cut.
I've got to disappear, I'm afraid.
Well done, Finn. Finn's off, yeah.
So I'll see you later. Cheers, everyone. See you later. See you later, mate.
Have a good one. See you later. Just tidying up that little bit now. I've got a ring centre on there at the moment, but a single point centre would work because that would leave a little hole for a brass eye. There we are. A little bit of sanding, I suppose you could do on that. Depends whether you want to paint them, airbrush them. You could do a bit of airbrushing with white stain. Let's take off the pencil marks. We're going to put a little hole in there. We're going to make a little nose. There we are. That'll do us. We're not going to do too much sanding. So whilst it's on the lathe, let me grab my drill. we're going to make a small hole. Just because, you know, on the lathe, it's held, it's safe. I don't want to endanger myself by holding on to something whilst I'm drilling it, because I'll only slip and put the drill through my hand, so I don't want that. So let's go through the side grain and we'll put his nose in. There we are. The other thing, I suppose, if you, again, with the snowmen in the picture, the hat was painted separately. So doing a separate hat means that you can get that colour nice and crisp and there's no spillover. When I've the solid piece like this, obviously you've got a little bit of cutting in to do. Let's make a nose. There we are. A little bit of sanding on the top to do with the disc sander. Okay, that would work really well. And the same whilst you're there, just sand the bottom as well. And you can put a little sort of jaunty angle on that so your snowman stands at an angle, just like he's starting to melt or whatever. So let's do some smaller turning now. We're going to do a little nose. So back with my old faithful chuck. That's going to be the old engineering pin jaw type. There we go. And let's, goodness me, well, we've got loads of timber here we could use. Why don't we use a bit of dowel? Save me cutting the piece, and I've got a piece of 6mm dowel there. I'll put that right up through the lathe. Beach dowel, this. Doesn't really make any difference because this is going to be sprayed orange at the end. Well, actually I haven't got any orange paint, so it's going to be a slight pinky carrot, this one. So what was the drill bit that I used? We better measure. Or am I going to guess? We'll guess. Small skew. Just check for questions before I start this. Okay, a burnished wood gets shiny surface with the bevel when using the gouge. What am I doing wrong? Probably a little bit too much burnishing, to be honest. Lift the hand a little bit more, get a little bit of that that cutting edge in. So let's do our carrot. Now, it's up to you what shape to do your carrot. You can have a perfect Tesco carrot, or you can get a nice, authentic bit of that, bit of that. Let's just do a small tenon. I'm not measuring anything. Measure yours, because I'll probably mess this up now. There we are. Let's just because we can, let's just put a little bit of colour on that. You can sand if you wish. Let's put a little bit of, tell you what I'll do. We'll go red. Turn the lathe speed down a little bit. And then we'll go a little bit yellow. Oh, that's a nice orange. Perfect. Could of course use my paint pens to do the same thing. Right, so we'll set the speed back up again. Part that one off. One little Garrett, and of course, let's pop him. I'll just get that in the camera for you. We have our little carrot nose for The snowman. Right, let's get you back. I'm on my own, guys, so forgive me for the jerky camera. I'm going to come down a little bit to show you what we've done there. So we've got a little Polar Express, our little snowman. Where are they all? Our house. And later on in the season, or later on in the next few weeks, we are also going to add to these by making a nativity scene. 3 of them, 3 little wise men. We're going to do a Mary, we're going to do a Joseph, we're going to do some sheep, we're going to do some angels. This will be for another thing that we're going to be doing. So that time, or that project, will be a little Christmas pyramid. So there's a huge amount of Christmas stuff that we can do and we will be doing. So I hope you've enjoyed that one. Like I said, I haven't got to all of your questions because Finn had to disappear. But have a look at the pictures. The pictures that we've posted to advertise today are a starting block. It's entirely up to you to do your designs. This is all, without really knowing it, these are practice pieces in skew chisels and spindle gouges and all those sorts of things. I use an awful lot of airbrush, and you've seen that. I use the sanding disc an awful lot. It turns my lathe into another machine, basically. So these lovely little pieces now, we've got to get making them. As makers, we need to start getting these into shops. We need to start thinking about who needs what and all those sorts of things, getting stuff wrapped. I know it's early, I know Halloween hasn't come yet, but as makers, I tend to start in August because of the follow-on of everything. So what's today? Thursday. Tuesday, we've got more the same thing, more Christmas tree decorations. Now, what we're going to do on Tuesday is something slightly different. We're going to go away from timber. And we're going to use some of the project blanks, the thicker acrylite, the polyester blanks, and we're going to make firstly a hollow bell with a bit of Christmas ribbon on that. So you're using quite a difficult material to turn, but make it hollow so you can see through it. The Christmas tree lights actually glow through it. And then also we're going to cut one of the blanks into 4 bits and use the little Christmas tree kits that you can buy again to hang from the trees. There's loads of Christmas stuff, so you can tell that I'm really enthused with Christmas gear and all that sort of stuff. So join me at 4 o'clock again on Tuesday next week, and we'll have another go at doing some Christmas stuff. So until then, guys, thank you very much for listening. I hope you are watching. I hope you've enjoyed that. And keep putting your pictures in. Let us have all those pictures of the stuff that you're making. So thank you ever so much for watching, guys. Join me again on Tuesday. Bye bye. Bye bye.